Hi, everybody, from Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. Well, Joe Burrow has finally beaten the Browns after he had gone 0-4 against them. Or should I say, at least on this day, that the Browns beat the Browns. And there's evidence of that. The Browns were penalized 9 times on the afternoon for 98 yards at critical points in the game. And if you give Joe Burrow more and more opportunities, he's going to cash in, and he finally did and got rolling. 23-10, the Bengals end up winning the game. The Browns, they really hurt themselves all game long, but on their first possession of the ball game, they drive down and get down deep in Bengals territory, and it's 3rd down and 1. They give the ball to Kareem Hunt. He does not get the first down. So it's 4th down and 1. They bring in Mr. Quarterback Sneak, Jacoby Brissett, and guess what? He didn't sneak it. He threw a pass into the end zone intended for Donovan Peoples-Jones, incomplete, and the Browns come up empty. Do you ever think that the Browns sometimes get a little bit too cute for their own good? I do, and I thought they did here in such a big game on the road. I think you get points, or you just go in a straight line. Get the first down, get the 1 yard, but the Browns instead went for the trick play, the big play, and it blew up in their face. Back to the penalties, okay? A wicked penalty on Tony Fields on an attempted block punt of Drew Chrisman. Why I say it was wicked, because Chrisman, though he had not been punting well, was deep in his own territory. Donovan Peoples-Jones caught the punt at the 40-yard line. Tony Fields gets called for roughing the punter. Why would you go for a block punt that deep in Cincinnati territory? Just catch the ball and get possession of it. Instead, Fields pretty much cut Chrisman's body in half. There was no doubt about it. Isaiah Thomas came up with a huge penalty for hands to the face, wiping out a sack of Joe Burrow and keeping that touchdown drive that made it 7-0 going. On that drive alone, the Browns' penalty yardage added up to 58 yards. Again, a big game. You can't make mistakes like that. To the Browns' offense. You know what? The Browns' offensive line, we keep saying it's great. It is not great right now. It is injured. They're having problems at center. Yelda Froholt is getting the job done, but it's a long way from where the Browns were with Ethan Posick or perhaps Nick Harris if he hadn't gotten hurt on the first play of the preseason. Suddenly, Nick Chub and Kareem Hunt are running into a lot of defenders. The Browns are not getting a push up front, and the offensive line is struggling to open up that Browns running game, and thus you're in 2nd down and long and 3rd down and long. Deshaun Watson was better than he was last week in Houston, but there's a long way to go, and I think it is vital for Watson to play better and look better and to get the Browns offense into the end zone at home over the next 2 weeks for all of us to feel better about how he's going to end this season and go into the offseason and make us all sleep better, that we really have the Deshaun Watson of old, the guy that was so great back in Houston, but right now really is struggling. This is a tricky equation right now for the Browns. You ask this team to play 11 games without Deshaun Watson, and they did. And then he arrives on the scene, and now you're asking them to kind of pull him along, and he's playing at a preseason level in very big ball games. That's tough to do, and it's not going that well right now. So the Browns are now in that very unenviable category. They're just playing out the string of games at 5 wins and 8 losses. And they come home to take on Baltimore next Saturday at First Energy Stadium. But on this day in Cincinnati, the Browns lose to Joe Burrow, but really can look at themselves and say, man, did we leave a lot of points out on the field, and did we make big-time mistakes. And if we're going to be a great team, a playoff team, you just can't do that. Final score, Bengals win it 23-10. From Cincinnati, I'm Jim Donovan for WKYC.com.